Hello students, I am here with another video from the chapter of class 10th Science NCERT book, that is from the chapter Life Processes. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that till now what all things we have discussed in this chapter. So children, we have discussed about the life processes, that is nutrition in plants, as well as I have discussed the second life process, that is about the respiration. So in the life process of nutrition, I have discussed about the fact that how the energy from the food is being taken up. I mean, the food is in the complex form. Then this is to be broken down into the smaller components, and these smaller components are going to give us energy. So how this food is going to give us energy, we have studied this in the respiration part. And before that, how the complex food is going to be synthesized into the smaller food, that is being studied in the process of the nutrition. Okay. So with this, we have completed both the life processes, and the third life processes we are dealing with is the transportation system. So we have studied about transportation in the plants as well as transportation in the animals. Then children, we are studying about the transportation in the animals, where we are seeing about the heart, the structure of heart, and the functions of each and every part of the heart. Okay, so heart consists of 4 chambers, where atria and ventricles are, upper 2 are called atria, lower 2 are called ventricles. And then we have also seen about the blood circulation and why it is said to be as double circulation. This is what I have told you. Then the next thing which I wanted to discuss with you all is the lymphatic system. Okay, so we have studied about the we have to study about the lymphatic system. Here lymphatic system means it is a way by which the system, I mean, it is just a parallel system which is running through our body, where the circulatory system is running, and just beside it one more system of the blood vessel, one more system of the lymph vessels is running. That is said to be as the lymphatic system. Okay. Now before that, I must tell you, what do you mean by lymph? So we were discussing about this only, so I'll continue with the topic lymph. Lymph is a colorless fluid which is devoid of RBCs. Okay, as it is devoid of RBCs, it means that it is going to be, this RBC is not present. Then what happens? This is a body fluid. It is said to be as the tissue fluid. Okay, it is said to be as the tissue fluid. Now children, if tissue fluid we are saying, then what else we can understand here is about where is this tissue fluid being present? This tissue fluid is present in the intercellular spaces. Okay, it is present in the intercellular spaces, in between the interstitial spaces. Okay, so if cells are present, so you can say that the spaces which are present over here, the some of the liquid is present, and this liquid is said to be as the lymph. Now how this liquid is generated, from where is this liquid coming into these spaces? So children, we come to know that the lymph is going to be formed because blood is flowing in the high pressure. So how this lymph is formed? Okay, how this is formed? We know that blood flows in high pressure. Okay, it flows in high pressure inside our arteries and the veins. Now what happens? Some part of the blood, except WBC, some part of the blood is going to leak out. It comes out. it is going to leak out, I must say. Okay. Leak out from arteries, veins and capillaries. Now when this arteries, veins and capillaries are having the blood present in it, it oozes out from because of the high pressure which is present inside the where it is present inside our capillaries and the arteries and the veins. Okay, so this liquid which is coming out, which is leaking out from the arteries and the veins, this gets collected in between the tissue. So this gets collected in between the tissues, and this is termed to be as lymph. Okay, this is termed to be as lymph. So this is how the lymph is going to form, but please remember that lymph contains all the liquid, all the important parts. So if we are talking about lymph, it means that it contains all the important substances. It contains all the important components. So what happens? This lymph is going to be formed when it is going that is why it contains what kind of important components it contains. It contains the WBCs, plasma, WBC, proteins. Okay, so many important components are there which should not be wasted. Now if they should not be wasted, then how this lymph has to move, how this lymph is going to go back? For that only, for sending this lymph back into circulation, one more system is there. It is known to be as the lymphatic system. Okay, so this lymphatic system is going to deal with the lymph vessel, lymph vessel, and what else? Lymph nodes. Okay, so all these things are present under the heading of lymphatic system, and this lymphatic system is going to work together with the circulatory system so that all the important nutrients should not go waste, they should come back into the circulation part. Okay, so this is what is about the lymphatic system, children, and this was about the lymph, because it is an important fluid which should not be wasted from the outside the body. That is why it has to be sent back into the circulation. So for sending back the things into circulation, there is a need of this lymphatic system, and we have lymph nodes at the places. We have the lymph vessels which is present all around in the cells, which is present all around in the body, and this is going to help in sending back this important liquid back into the circulation. Okay, so this was about lymph and lymphatic system. With this, your transportation process is also complete now. Children, I am going to discuss about the next life process. This is the last life process of this chapter, and this is about, okay, before that I'll tell you about the blood pressure. What do you mean by blood pressure? Blood pressure means it is a pressure which is being exerted by exerted by where? By the walls of blood vessels when blood is when blood is flowing through it. Okay, so this is what is to be studied when we have to study about the blood pressure, which means that it is a pressure which is being exerted by the blood vessels when the blood is flowing through it. See, you know that whenever the blood is flowing, it is under the pressure. Okay, why? Because it has to move from head till our toe. Okay, it has to travel a great distance, it has to travel a large distance. For traveling such a large distance, that has to be in pressure, that has to be in force. So what happens, this is going to move very fast or very slowly, because of which what happens, this is going to give rise to certain blood, it is going to give rise to the pressure on the wall, and this is known as blood pressure. Okay, now there are two types of pressure. One is known as the systolic blood pressure, another one is known as the diastolic blood pressure. Both of them are being measured by the instrument called known as sphygmomanometer. Okay, its spelling is the instrument which is used to measure instrument which is measuring this blood pressure is sphygmomanometer. SYH, sphygmomanometer. Okay, this is known as sphygmomanometer. This is the instrument which is used for measuring the blood pressure of the human beings. Now, I said that there are two, if the blood pressure is between 80 mmHg, between 80 mmHg to 120, this is known as the normal blood pressure. Okay, now if the lower limit is about, this is the diastolic blood pressure. Okay, and this is the systolic blood pressure. Okay, now when these two blood pressures are measured, then if the person is having the lower limit lower than 80 millimeter Hg, means mercury, because mercury is filled in this instrument. So we are measuring this in the case of atmospheric pressure, and this remains constant. That is why mercury is being used. And children, with this I have to tell you that the two categories of the blood pressure is there. One is said to be as the lower blood pressure, and other one is said to be as the high blood pressure. So this is known as, if the person is having below 80 millimeter Hg, then this is said to be as hypotension. Okay, this is known as hypotension, which is about 100 mmHg, 50 to 100 mmHg. Okay, then next is if the last limit, this higher limit is more than 120, which is about 150 to 150-90 mmHg. Okay, this is said to be as hypertension. Now, hyper means it is more than the normal blood pressure, and this is hypotension means this is less than the normal blood pressure. Okay, so this is known to be as the two types of blood pressures, hypo and hypertension, and if the range lies between 80 mmHg to 120 mmHg, it is said to be as the normal blood pressure. Now both these conditions are problematic situation, because here what happens, the people are going to suffer with certain diseases. It is not a disease actually, but this is going to this is going to cause problem to the various organs of our body, because blood pressure has to count with the life of the human beings. So this was about the blood pressure, which is said to be as a normal then hypotension and hypertension. Okay, so we have talked about the one life process, that is transportation in animals. Now I'll be discussing about the next life process, that is about excretion. So this is the next and the last life process of this chapter which we have to study, that is excretion. Okay, so we have seen about how the energy is being formed, how the energy is being collected from the different food to the cells. Okay, so this is about the respiration. Then we saw that energy has to circulate. We have seen in the circulation. Now after this, what happens? We need to get rid of the waste products, and this comes under excretion. This comes under excretion. Okay, so this is known to be as excretion. Now I said, what is the need of excretion? What is the need of excretion? The need of excretion is it is very simple, that we need to get rid of the toxic waste. See, what is the need of excretion? So there are three important needs of excretion. The first need of excretion is because problems are coming. What problems are coming? The first problem is production of toxic waste. Okay, production of toxic waste material. Then after that, there is increase and decrease of water balance. Okay, increase and decrease of water balance. And the last thing is there is imbalance of ions. So these three problems are there with the body. First one is the production of the toxic waste. Toxic wastes are being produced. Second thing, there is increase and decrease. Second problem is there is increase and decrease of the water balance. And the third problem lies that if water is balanced, then ions are not balanced properly. So this is known to be as, these are the three problems. So to solve these three problems, there is a need of another body system which is known as excretion. Okay, which is known as excretion. So this is the need, because these three problems has to be solved. All these three problems, they are to be solved. So what happens? Because of which what happens? This has to be solved. So excretion has to take place inside the body of the animals, inside the body of the organisms. So now the next question comes: what excretion processes one organism has to perform? So what is that process? The processes which are to be performed by the body to get rid of these three problems which I have discussed just now is that we need to solve. The first process is for excretion. Okay, this solves two problems. What two problems? It helps in toxic wastes. Okay, now the next two problem is the water and the ion balance. So the next process for excretion has to take place for balancing the ions and water. Ions and water are to be balanced by one more process called osmoregulation. So this osmoregulation is the topic. Osmoregulation and excretion, these two has to be studied in the case of organisms, because of which any organism is going to get rid of the waste material, whether it is for the toxic waste or it is the ionic waste or it is the water imbalance. So all these three things they have to be cleared or they have to be balanced because of these two processes of excretion and osmoregulation. Okay, now the next thing comes, we are studying all the life processes for both the organism. One is the plant and the other one is the animal. Okay, so if I say that whether the excretion is taking place in plants or not, do plants excrete or not? So what would be your answer? The question is there any situation where we can say that plants excrete, or is there any proof that plants are going to excrete or plants show this process of excretion? Because we have seen that nutrition is taking place in the plants as well as in the animals. The circulation is taking place in the plants as well as in the animals. The respiration is taking place in between the plants as well as in the animals. So what about this excretion? Whether this excretion is taking place in the plants and the animals or not. So animals में तो है, but क्या plants भी excrete करते हैं? क्या उनके पास भी वेस्ट मटेरियल बनता है? कहाँ से ये वेस्ट मटेरियल आता है और फिर ये क्यों बॉडी में से रिलीज करना जरूरी है प्लांट्स के लिए भी? So all these questions they have the same they have one answer, that is yes, plants are going to excrete. Yes, plants are going to produce the waste material. That is why there is a need of excretion in the plants. So plants also produce waste. They also produce, plants also produce waste, but this waste is important for the animals. This becomes important. This is important product for the animals. Now, what are the waste which is being produced by the plants? Plant produces waste in the form of water. Okay, it produces waste in the form of water. Even oxygen is also a waste product. Okay, similarly, okay, these two are the major waste material of the plants. This is produced because as a result of respiration, and both of them and also for now the fact says plants also excrete, and what they are going to excrete? They are going to excrete the waste material like oxygen and water. This oxygen and water is going to be produced in the form of because of the as a result of this excretion, as a result of this respiration and photosynthesis. Because photosynthesis produces oxygen as the end product. We have seen already. We have seen this in our first life process, that was about nutrition. Okay. Now the next thing is that what are the waste products which are produced in the plants in more details. So what kind of waste material is generated by the plants? Plants generate three types of waste products. First is solid waste products. Second is liquid waste products. It is liquid waste products. These are the waste products, that is solid waste products, liquid waste products, and the third waste product is the gaseous waste products, which is present in the plants. So a plant produces three types of the waste material, that is the solid waste product, liquid waste product, and the gaseous waste products. So in the solid waste products, what are the waste products which is being generated by the plants? That is raphides. Okay, what are raphides? Raphides are the crystals. These are in the form of crystals. In some plants, in some fruits or the vegetables, like if you have eaten yam, okay, if you have eaten yam for as a vegetable, When it is being cooked and it goes inside our throat, then what happens, we start getting some itching in our throat after eating that vegetable. Okay, so they have the solid waste material, that is the refeeds inside it. It is a type of oxalic acid. Crystals are present. So these crystals are going to just pinch in the throat. Then they are going to be present. They are going to harm our throats, and that is why what happens, this is going to create the problem, and it causes irritation in our throat, and that is the waste product which is being accumulated inside the plants, and that is going to help the plants to survive, because these types of plants, they will not be eaten up by the animals because they are not very useful. They are not having certain up to the mark nutritional qualities also not there, and they also have the crystals inside it, which is going to cause irritation and itching in the throat of the animals as well. Next is the liquid waste material. The liquid waste material of the plant is the oils. Okay, we can write down the oils. Example is oil. Gum is also there. Here also it could be gum, because it is getting solidified after some time, so it becomes solid waste product. So oil में क्या क्या आ सकता है? Eucalyptus oil, और sandalwood oil, okay, it comes sandalwood oil, eucalyptus oil. Then different other oils are also present. If you get the oils of from the trees, we get different types of oils. So it could be the liquid waste product. Okay. Then next is the gaseous waste product, which is carbon dioxide. Sometimes, okay, water vapor. Water is also the waste material over here as liquid. Then gaseous में oxygen is mainly the waste product of the plants, but you know that oxygen is useful for the animals, and this is going to maintain the balance of the plants. Okay, so this maintains the complete plant and its products, and also it is going to help now all the plants have to get rid of these solid, liquid and gaseous waste material. So there is a need of having this excretion part in the plants also. Okay. Now what are refeeds? I said that these are needle shaped crystals. So solid waste में अभी हमने देखा refeeds के बारे में. These are the solid crystals present in the plants. Okay, it is present in the plants. Next is children, see how these plants are going to get rid of the waste material. That is oxygen कैसे निकलेगा बॉडी के अंदर से प्लांट के? with the help of diffusion. Okay, water vapor कैसे निकलेगा बॉडी में से? ट्रांसपिरेशन. Okay, then it could be abscission. What is this? Abscission means it is the leaf falling. Falling of leaf takes place when the season is over. Okay, and it could be the excretion in the storage के फॉर्म में स्टोर हो जाएगा excretory products, and in the form of gums, in the form of raisins, oils, and that could be released from the plants when it is being required. So children, oxygen is getting diffused, carbon dioxide also gets diffused from the body of the plants, then water vapor also is getting transpired, and after that the abscission is going to happen, that is the leaf falling will take place, and all these, and also the storage waste is also there. So this storage waste is going to be removed by the body of the plants in the case of the raisins, gums, Okay, gum hai, resin hai, eucalyptus oil, sandalwood oil, many oils are also there. Then the oil of the various lavenders and many oils are there. Aroma के therapy में भी बहुत सारे oils use किए जाते हैं. So all these oil are the waste products of the plants. Okay, so plant has to get rid of these waste products, children. Please remember. So we have seen about the waste material which is present in the body of the plants, and also it is going to be present in the body of the animals. And why there is a need of getting rid of this waste material, because the body has to get rid of the toxic waste, it has to balance the water balance, it has to balance the ionic balance. Okay, so for maintaining these three functions, for maintaining the process of these three functions, I mean they have to perform the process of excretion, and this is known as the process by which the animal gets rid of the waste material from their body is said to be as excretion. Okay, and it is just opposite to the functions which we have studied right now. Okay, so that's all for today's video, children. I will meet you all in the next video with the next topic to be discussed. That would be excretion in the animals, and that would be the last topic of this chapter. Okay, that's all for today. I'll meet you all in the next class.